He might need help. I don't know what's going on. I really have no clue. I've never been so lost in my life. Pixie, grab back the prism. Play it to draw a card. All right. You do you, boo. Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today we have a very sweet list that I found on Untapped. I am just now getting back from Gen Con. I actually worked today at Gen Con, which was 4 hours away. We woke up at 6 in the morning, worked until 4 in the afternoon, and then I packed up and then I drove home. I didn't drive home, I rode home with someone. But we rode home, which is a 4 to 5 hour drive, and then I decided recording a combo deck would be the best thing to do on Arena. But if you have not seen this deck or know how it works, real quick, the Teamer Battle Crier reduces things by 1 with every creature of power 4 or greater in play. So there's a lot of ways to kind of cheese that a bit, with Trailblazer being plotted and Lumber Wagon Wheel kind of being able to be saddled. I keep calling it saddled, but crewed by this, and then makes a lot of things cheaper, like Roaming Throne that we can play for free sometimes, along with the new Eldrazian standard, which is a thing I did not think I would be saying too often. But with that said, this deck's kind of hard to explain all the ins and outs of, so we're just going to hop into the games. If I do play a little worse today than maybe normal, I haven't played Magic in a week, and it's also been like hour 16 for me. It is currently 1:14 in the morning as I am playing these games. So it's been quite a bit. So with all that said and done, let's dive in. Opponent is first, but sure. You keep, I think. White. My opponent's trying to interact with me, I think. I don't like that. Honestly, I'm going to go for a Sirach here, hopefully. Double white, carrot cake. Okay, so this weirdly should be a good matchup in my mind. And the reason I say that is because obviously Sunfall and stuff all happens later and whatnot. I don't know. I just got back. I'm maybe a little more tired than I should be playing Magic the Gathering. But the reason this should be a good matchup, because we should be able to set up for a turn to pop off. And the only interaction that they should realistically have is a get lost. But Dragon Hawk and everything will deal the damage prior to that. And the trigger remembers, so it doesn't really matter. Exercise, exile, I'll draw a card, I suppose. Stressed out. A lot of lands here, which isn't necessarily the best thing I've ever seen. I don't know if I'm supposed to play this or not. And my argument is to play it, I think. Go here. Go ahead and tap this because of Split Up is a card that I would have to deal with potentially. And attacking for 1 is not really worth it in our deck. We have such high kind of plays to do. And if their turn just solely becomes get rid of this, then maybe a Dragon Hawk can kind of just solo the match. Obviously, that's not really there. Also, my brain really thought I was about to get a Sunfall, so that's kind of crazy. Go ahead, torch this. Feels torchable. Oh wait, and then I'll just Dragon Hawk, I guess. We'll let Dragon Hawk flap his little wings. By little, it's like 2 of them, so it's a lot. Might as well torch here. For that. Oh, Lumbering Wagon's actually maybe better. That just helps ramp, and it's a kind of consistent threat. Or maybe it is just Dragon Hawk and Lumbering Wagon is better after, maybe? Maybe it's Lumbering Wagon, I don't know. Honestly, it probably was, because then I just get to attack and kind of develop 2 mana, and it's an awkward card they have to remove because it's an artifact. But Dragon Hawk, if it does get to attack, does generate a ton, and they've already had multiple removal spells, and they scribed at the bottom. So, seems like we might get a turn here. Yep, sure. Gain some life. They're going to draw a card here after they scry, of course. Because Carrot Cake has to fully resolve before this will be able to trigger. And, of course, we just use their torch, which might have been a reason to answer this. Honestly, not have playing for a week plus is really really affected your boy's game. I'm gonna be honest. So roaming throne naming dragon would pop off here pretty hard. Yeah, let's do it, I guess. Dragon. Go to combat. Attack. This should do 4. Should find some land and some extra value here that maybe they board wipe me, but hitting 2 of those wasn't really ideal. I'm going to play land from hand, and I'm going to play land where elves and just have this hit for 3 twice. Or 2, 3 times, so 6 twice. Whatever. You know what I mean. They were at 21, now they're at 10. They took 5 and 6. So yeah, it was 3 twice. Because, you know, math's hard. But, battle menu. Taking out my Dragonhawk. Unfair. Fair cake. Looks like it's getting popped once again. So if Dragonhawk stayed around, we obviously probably win the game. But, they keep on top. They take a draw. Sure. Of course, to answer that would be great, or a Dragonhawk off the top would also be pretty dope. Let's go land. Let's go. Let's play lumbering wagon because we can do something cool here. So we go get a basic. Do this. This cares about sizing of the creature, so we can do this. And then we can play this, which will do 3, which will do 6. And then that'll deal 12 here. So obviously, I'm not going to play anything here. In turn. Yeah, so down to 1. Obviously, putting them to 1's pretty good. And having a Dragonhawk off the top is pretty nice. Maybe playing the one lane where elf wasn't worth it. Kind of forgot roaming throne also makes it steal double damage, because that's exactly how the card reads, and I'm just being really bad. But that's okay. I love being bad at the game. But now, if they do split up and they do tap creatures, the Dragonhawk obviously is sitting on top ready to go. If they do untapped, obviously then the board just wins. Sacrifice, grow a board. The only problem is Dragonhawk alone is lethal just in the air even. Doesn't really matter what they do. They don't get to draw an additional card. Even if this attacks, it does nothing if Dragonhawk's able to attack, because the attack trigger is going to do a ton. See? Yep. Not a lot to be done here. Definitely not my cleanest game of all time, but definitely not the worst either, I guess. Sure. I don't care. They can hit me for 2. I'll allow it. My turn. Second Dragonhawk. Doesn't really matter. I'll just attack here. Do the 4. Even if this were to die, it would be over. And I will let it just end here with 8 damage. Very cool. Very, very cool. Well, it's an interesting hand. Double land war elves is obviously always nice with the torch available. Let's barrel one out there. Let the... Oh! Man, I'm so used to cut down being a card. Holy... I was like, oh yeah, just let him cut down it. That card rotated. I played 1 day of rotation, so my kind of knowledge on the meta in the game right now is honestly a bit lacking. I haven't really kept up at all. This is a torch to tower take all day. Yeah, that's pretty cut, dry, easy answer. Esper Origin here. Honestly, I'll take the Verge. I'm not like super thrilled about it, but I'll take it. We can play land, go roaming throne named Dragon if we'd like. We can also probably set this up, especially depending what they take here. Obviously, our top spell is not removal. Honestly, it might even be play this, because the 2 extra green is going to be so vital there. But also, I can also resolve a Dragonhawk if I want to. I don't know what our top card was, so we just do that. I'm going to play this. I think if it, well, obviously you throw that in the graveyard. If it No, I want to know the backside. Reveal the top card of your library. If it's a permanent card, put it in your hand. Yeah, we'll leave the land just because it's a permanent. And I want it to guarantee a hit. Take that, of course. If they trade, obviously, I don't know what game they've been playing for the past couple of years. You don't trade Deep Cavern Bet because it doesn't make a lot of sense. Their mana struggling. This seems good. All right, so it's Mono Black Demons. This actually gives us our answer. And all right, sure. Play the untapped source. Could obviously do it off Dragonhawk, but I don't necessarily know if I want to do that quite yet. And then I will play a... Has to use the red, I guess. So let's just Dragonhawk it up. There's an out. There's an out. Railblazer. Get in there, big dog. Do a green. And then we can, what, warp this? The torch. Obviously, might as well attack for 4. Get them down. Got quite a big board. Damage there. This is actually hard cast. We didn't warp it, which is sweet. There's an exile. Can you only warp from your hand? Okay, you can only warp from your hand. Sweet. Actually, didn't really know, to be honest. Warp's a bit different. Exile at the beginning of the next end step, and yeah. Cool, 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 cool. I mean, that's 2 games. That's a win. Very cool. Better than when I played my trial game and milled out my own deck and messed up because I'm an idiot, but that's fine. Opponent first. We're going to try this hand. I'm not super, super confident on it, but I do get to do this into this, maybe. Okay, well. I'm not going to go that smooth. Origin into Outcast. Honestly, it's probably actually just supposed to be Lumbering Wagon, right? Because we get the extra land, play the Trailblazer, bring this up, and then get in there. Could maybe play this, but it's probably not necessarily worth it, really. Demo field, sure. I'm going to actually hold the torch to the tower. I don't think this matters near as much. That's kind of the game plan we have set up. Pop that. Yeah, because if we go World Wagon, then Trailblazer, especially if we hit a land, then we have the option to, like, also Esper Origin here, and then go into, like, Team or Battle Cruiser, you know? A lot of options. A lot of options. Honestly, it also might just be, weirdly enough, to play this, then crew this, and then cards are 2 cheaper. Play this, play this. I mean, I guess that works, right? Sure. I mean, that totally makes sense to put that in the bin. The life total is higher than mine. Docklands actually makes Preacher pretty interesting, though. Maybe surprised they didn't grab that because, you know, they would have a free creature to play here. Honestly, I'm pretty confident in our one plan to do this. Maybe they have removal, maybe they have counterspell, maybe they have flash creature, who really knows? Battle. We could have went and casted a spell, but I'd much rather crew here first. Make everything one cheaper. So now we go into the Trailblazer. Make a green and probably play the other Lumbering World Wagon instead of the Esper. Maybe they want to interact here. There's a Phantom. Okay, that makes sense. Kind of the card we figured, but we're definitely attacking into this. There's no real world reason why we wouldn't. Remember the mountain. We're ready to go. Battle Crier is kind of vulnerable, but that's okay. They had another land, which is great for us. Our life total was definitely lower after they bullied us for a turn. Maybe another Phantom here, which would suck. Up. Maybe a flash creature to cause some problems, which wouldn't be great. I might not even attack with this, to be honest. Maybe I have to. I'm not sure. Have the forest. Maybe a little mistake on our kind of land situation here. Barrel it again. Docking and doing this again equals kind of the same. Sure. I'll take a Dragon Hawk. Considering it triggers here. Cast it. They have interaction, that's for sure. And I'm definitely not attacking with the World Wagon. I just want this to deal the kind of 8 it owes me. And then I have double crew here to use the battle wagons as blockers. Not the sheriff shooting the Dragon Hawk. Well, if that's the case, then I guess my World Wagon can attack. Only one creature can be crewed this turn, and we'll grab the last basic out. If they trade, honestly, I'll take it. But 9 life is massive, especially whenever they, you know, are threatening a lethal. This Dragon Hawk remembers. Down to 4 they go. We kind of have it on lock. Preacher could attack because it makes life linkers. That matters a ton, but when this gets to the bottom, my creature's getting trample, so they should do it just to try to make extra bodies. I am out of basics, though. That demo field is just a wasteland at this point for me. What is the plan? Sure. I don't have anything to hide. Wowzers. Decline. I want nothing. Nice wasteland. Sure. I can't figure out if this is actually worth blocking or not. I think so. I can't allow that card to take over the game, even though it gives up the wagon. Ooh. That's a good one. Not a good draw when I'm kind of maxed out here. You obviously have to double block, which is huge. Which then means the Spyglass Siren can't really do anything. They could block 1, I guess, and keep 1. And that makes Enduring Curiosity a really good draw. Maybe they're playing to that out. Honestly, they might had to have played that out, but going up to 6 is also okay. Knowing that the summon goes away and then the trample won't matter, but we get there regardless. A bit of a weird one, honestly. Wasn't quite what I expected after ripping out every basic to hit more lands, but it is what it is. This hand has the Battle Crier, but we have no blue. So literally one card, and none of our cards in our hand are actually castable with this kind of hand, so we have to maul. It's a bit weird because it doesn't feel like we should have to maul that hand. We just have to. We keep this and we throw the Dragon Hawk back because it's the only card still, again, not castable in that situation. Pay 2 life. Have Lane War Elves come in. Ready to go. We have the space lands for a space themed deck, you know. Back on one of these territories. Ooh. Come in, big dog. Honestly, a lot of times you really don't want to have to play the Battle Crier out like this, but I'm going to regardless. What does the Fable Passage mean? Typically mono green, if I had to put a guess, is what Fable Passage has meant recently. It grabs a mountain. Okay. A swamp. A reanimator? Wait, that artifact's sick. Hold up. When this enters, you may discard a card. If you do, sacrifice. Yo, bet. That card is sick. Here, name. Dragon or human? Dragon, I guess. Then Because obviously a Dragon Hawk off the top is going to be lethal what's on board. Because it'll flip over 3 and then flip over 3 again for 6 total for 12. And then we'll have a lethal attack before they can get this out. Which is obviously where we need to be. They Resentful Remorse. Zombify going to be available next turn. And they let a Zombify go to the graveyard. So it's clearly available. I can't really deal with that with kind of my hand. Okay, I can deal with that though. And there's what I name? Dragon? Brutal. Absolutely brutal. We're going to Torch. If they bring that back, there's not a creature in a graveyard, right? So get in. There could be a board wipe. So I'm going to go ahead and plot this guy. He doesn't draw off himself. He draws off of other things. So kind of sitting here. Even if they were to technically reanimate this, they had no other creatures to follow it up because we torched the tower, the thing. But Light Shatter's there. Honestly, this card is sick. Steam Rip's also a good card. We get to play as really good, solid removal that doesn't really cost us anything. I'm kind of liking what my opponent's about. My opponent's hotter than me, and I don't like that. Now I'm getting punished for not playing this, which blows. There's no way you're attacking. It's the only way you lose. They just didn't care. They had a chance to potentially win, honestly. You have just a good block. Maybe you rip a Zombify off the top. You play Arden. You bring back the Light Shatter. It attacks for 4. You gain 4. Arden's in play. And then maybe it gets to block. Because obviously you just block here. The 4 hits. That hits. You get to Arden. This comes back. You get to loot and do everything again. I think this kind of concession was a bit maybe of a tilter. I don't know. It just seemed like a bit weird. But this card might be the truth, especially the fact that we can protect ourselves with it as well. Unsure. Fear of missing out's also good, so it's kind of hard to argue against that. Opponent first. We have the Torch and the Landwar Elves and some pretty good plays, honestly, so we'll keep. Boros, most likely control if I have to get. I don't know, man. Yeah, I see, like, I thought Boros, and then I see this, and now I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what the meta is kind of into. Oh, okay. My bad. We're back on this. Okay. This. I'll take a Dragon Hawk. I'm going to just double Trailblazer kind of in the plot zone. He might need help. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. I really have no clue. I've never been so lost in my life. Pixie, grab back the prism, play it to draw a card. Alright. You do you, boo. I just make a 4/4. Kind of want to. Playing this, well, they can always make me sacrifice a creature, right? So let's plot here. Let's throw a little torch up. 1 white mana means they won't have the creature with flash to kind of do what they want. And now, like with the Trailblazers, I can play them, play another one, draw a card, make some mana. Weapon manufacturing. There's the card. That is obviously whatever, dude. They're a nice combo, dude. You are finessing me, brother. Can I go? Maybe, I don't know. Trailblazer. Let's make a, I mean, I guess make a green or a red. I don't really know. Let's make a red. Oh, another Trailblazer. Sweet. I can go 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Let's just take a 3-drawer here. Oh, and there's a backup Dragon Hawk. Let's go, dude. Here we are. I'll take a draw 3 and a mill 3 or a flip 4 here. Oh, and it's all land. Obviously, the battle cruiser sucks, but yeah. I don't know, man. You figure that one out. Be pretty close. Sure. That is a Trailblazer answered and a draw to happen. Still 3 creatures to answer on the board and a Dragonhawk attacking, another one being played, which will definitely be enough to kind of seal the deal regardless. These Dragonhawks from the graveyard remember their trigger, and then oh, these actually get to pick off both of those. Never mind. Munitions actually working well here. Oh, they had 3? When did I miss the 3? Definitely probably should have picked off these, but that's okay. I'm not gonna blame them, to be honest. Go here, hit. Play a Dragonhawk, and that's gonna do it. This is actually sweet. At least this is a cycle that actually wins the game, unlike the past cycles that just didn't win the game, which was really annoying. Like the temp lockdown, just bounce everything, remove all the creatures you have, and then they just don't have anything on board to actually win. Where with the Pinnacle, you know, it can actually take all the munitions and win the game, which is super sweet. That's a fun deck as well. I'm so far behind. Going first with a pretty dope hand, to be honest, so we'll definitely run this one up. We'll slam this Stomping Ground, play this Landware Elves. So if it lives, play a Sirach. Sirach obviously has to be answered before Landware Elves. They don't want me to just keep drawing cards. Mono red it is. Okay. Should be not. I'm definitely never going to say that this is a layup, obviously, right? Because mono red's so hard always. Like when they have the hands that curve out, they have the hands that curve out, and it's just not a whole lot you can do about it. But I think I want to play Roaming Throne and then name it Lizards? I'm genuinely baffled, I think. That's crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna go Roaming Throne here. I'm gonna slam it, and I'm weirdly, of all things to name, I never really thought in Standard DeckTech I was going to name Eldrazi on a Roaming Throne. Somebody actually send help, dude. I don't know what's going on. Is this going to be a 3-drop? Obviously, Roaming Throne not a great card to be able to answer here. Better try taking 3. I'll draw a card, sure. No attack that they can really do here. I could torch and play a wagon wheel. I could play another Roaming Throne. I feel like we're getting a little too cute on that one, right? So let's just do this. Warp here. I could attack, but I'm not going to. Does that not work? Oh, there it is. Okay. 3. I only have 3 lands, so we'll put 1 land into play. Enters tapped regardless of what we do here. And then another draw here. And then we can do... Because now it's 4. Now it knows it's 4. I'm going to do Wagon Wheel, I think. The creature enters tapped regardless, so it's a bit weird to just be like, oh, yeah, let's do the other thing. And we'll grab the 1 island we need for the Teamer card. Because if we rip it off the top, we play it, we crew this up, and then cards are 3 cheaper, and then obviously everything gets pretty good from there. Suplex. Exile an artifact. Okay, sure. Suplex an interesting card. Now my opponent can finally attack me for 5 here. Is obviously something. I could play this card now. But I can also just like play Roaming Throne. I kind of want to shock. So now I can play Roaming Throne. I'm going to shock here, I think. Play Roaming Throne. Name Dragon this time around. Do this here. Obviously, we could use this as a blocker, but I'm just going to get through everything. Yeah, pretty good, but I don't really want to take 2 more life against this deck for free. Play a Landware Elves, and then attack. Pull the Landware Elf back, of course. Attack here. This action is taken. We'll grab another mountain. Kind of doesn't really matter when it comes to the red-green of our deck right now. And because it's on Dragon, I should be able to play the Dragon Hawk and then play this. Maybe not play this, I guess, but 7 lands, you know, everything's going to be looking good. But it's only if this leaves the battlefield, so it's a bit different. Ward 2, exile again. Honestly, if Gev attacks, I'll just double block, which isn't typically a thing I would ever say. But we can play Dragonhawk here. It'll only trigger once, which means the possibilities are pretty good. We need to make sure it doesn't actually tap our island here in case we ripped a teamer guy. There's a torch. Might as well just play it, I guess. Because if they play 2 creatures at this point, Gev's obviously going to deal the same amount of damage. And then Wagon Wheel can actually just attack his turn. Maybe I should have attacked with Wagon Wheel first and see if they did anything. But they know about the torch, so it doesn't really matter. But I guess if Wagon Wheel attacks, it hits the land, and then I put them to 1. But then that allows them to block, so I should just take care of that and just put them to 1. Actually, no, we just win, right? Yeah, what am I even talking about? The game's over. Bro, I'm getting off. I'm getting offline. I have to stop playing. I'm so tired, bro. Maybe exhausted is more the word, but yeah, here is the deck. This is a super sweet list. I found it on Untapped, kind of because, again, like I've said, I have not had a lot of time to pay attention. I left Tuesday, the same day as release, and I am back today. Today is Sunday. If you know how cons at work, they actually close on Sundays. So I woke up today at 6, worked the con until 4, and then I left and took my good old-fashioned 4 to 5 hour drive home. And then I got online. I'm doing laundry. I took out trash. And I am now playing Magic the Gathering. Bad combination all said and done with that. But yeah, this deck's super sweet. I think this Eldrazi actually makes it pretty viable. The land situation is a bit weird. I haven't played with this card much, so I kept kind of forgetting how it worked whenever I warped it. I thought it did it. I kept wanting to think it did it based off the mana you spent, not how many lands you have, which is interesting of a card. I think this deck works really well. I've seen it do well in tournaments also. It's just super sweet to play this and kind of have it pop off without necessarily having to copy this. A lot of the decks copy it and try to just storm. But this one just seems like once you get enough going with a Trailblazer or 2 and the ramp that you get off the wagon and maybe the roaming throne, that the Dragon Hawk is pretty good. And maybe the copy version of this is better in best of 3. I'm not really sure. Again, I've been a little bit out of the game right now, so it'll take me a bit to kind of get back in the groove and see what's up and see what decks are good. So obviously, if anybody has any recommendations or any video that you've seen that you're like, hey, is this deck good or is this deck pretty awesome, then I'll gladly check it out. Kind of help me get back into the swing of it, obviously. And with that said and done, I hope you all enjoy it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.